Hi folks, welcome. I'm Dan McDermott. This is the McDermott Report. We're a bit late tonight. We had some issues with Wirecast and or Ustream, so we're broadcasting tonight on Justin.tv. Also tonight we have a hangout going on. Daniel Bowie's hangout. He's in Vancouver. He's our guest tonight. And I think there's another guy there who's relaxing. But we'll be joining them in just a bit. So, okay, first of all, I want to talk about President Obama and the debt ceiling. He went on TV tonight and announced just after John Boehner, the Speaker of the House House of Representatives in the United States, announced that he was withdrawing from talks aimed at trying to reach an agreement to raise the debt ceiling. Polls have gone up and down on this. My basic thing is this: I spoke to a very high-ranking person in the House of Representatives tonight on the Republican side, and I said, what's going on? And the guy said, we have no idea. And I said, well, who's right on this? Is the White House correct that and other folks, Warren Buffett among them, are they correct in that if we do not raise the debt ceiling, it'll be a financial Armageddon, that the world will collapse? Or are some folks on the Republican side correct in saying that it won't be that bad because they'll be able to come up with some kind of finagling or scam, what do you want to call it, some way to be able to pay their debts and avoid default while cutting back on other things? The bottom line is this: the Republicans will face primary challenges. Some of these guys, remember in the last election cycle, I'm not a witch, I'm you, some of these Tea Party candidates, well, they're going to run against these Republicans if they vote for any kind of tax increase, straight up guaranteed. Republicans will face primary challenges if they vote for any kind of increased revenue. So their option is either vote for tax increases and face issues in a primary and possibly lose their seat, or hold firm and then they're not even sure. I mean, I talked to a senior Republican tonight on the House side, and he said, we don't know what will happen. So there's not a lot of incentive for them to cut a deal. In my opinion, President Obama, if the debt ceiling is not raised, either we will have a financial meltdown on his watch, or we won't, and he'll be exposed as someone who exaggerated and was playing games. Now, either way, he's at the helm. He's the leader. He's the guy who will be judged by history for the first time in the history of the United States, in George Washington, when we haven't raised the debt ceiling when required. So I think he will sign anything that hits his desk that raises the debt ceiling under any conditions, and he'll just be able to blame the Republicans for signing something bad. The alternative is that the world comes to an end, or he's exposed as someone who was disingenuous. So I think he'll sign whatever, and I think John Boehner realized that. He said, why are we negotiating with this guy? We need to negotiate with the Senate, which is controlled by the Democrats, and whatever we come up with, the president will sign, because he staked everything on raising this debt ceiling, come hell or high water. So I think it makes sense what they're doing. So we'll see. Also, terror has reared its ugly head in Norway. Very sad. We're hopefully next week we'll get some more perspective on this. I can just say that as someone who remembers 9/11 vividly, I wasn't in New York, I was in Virginia. I remember the shock and just wow. We still don't know if this is at the time we're doing the show, we don't know yet exactly who's responsible for real, and if it's a big group or why in the world people are picking on Norway of all places. It just our thoughts go out to the people there, and we wish them all well. So let me bring in our panel, who's they're relaxing over there. My guest is Daniel Bowie, and the first thing I want to talk about: Google Plus is growing more than 1 million users per day in closed beta. If you look at Facebook and Twitter, they grew, I think it was 600 or 700 days to reach this level. Now, obviously, Facebook and Twitter were both startups, whereas Google is a household name, so that's a big advantage. But what are your thoughts on this, Daniel Bowie? Let's bring you in on this whole situation with Google Plus growing at such an incredible rate. What does this mean?
Well, I don't think it's fair to look at those figures and say that that Google Plus it's just killing Facebook and killing Twitter. I don't think it's fair to look at that and say that. I mean, like, the whole social networking scene is way different now than how it was 2 years ago or even a year ago, right? So way back then there wasn't that many people on Facebook or Twitter. It's only now that it's so dominant. So I think those figures are meant to be looked at and say I think it's there to show how big the whole scene is now, rather than say how big Google Plus is blowing up. That's what I think.
Okay. That makes sense. And I'll just say I'm trying to bring up this chart, but I think this means that they're going to be a big player, right? I mean, this is they're really going after Mark Zuckerberg. You think how much of this is related to the things that Zuckerberg was doing, where Facebook was sending PR representatives out to trash Google, etc.? Are Zuckerberg's, to quote Reverend Jeremiah Wright from the Obama campaign, are Mark Zuckerberg's chickens coming home to roost?
What do you mean?
Well, in other words, Mark Zuckerberg, this is to a large degree a battle between Google and Facebook. Or is it just Google making the next logical step? How much is this, let's kill Zuckerberg, and how much of this is just Google going where, tying all their separate pieces together finally?
I don't think the main picture and the main goal is to kill Twitter or to kill Facebook. I don't think that's the main reason why Google started the whole social networking thing. I think they're doing it as a business decision for themselves. They wanted to get into the market and make some money off that. I think in some ways they are out to dominate Facebook or whatever you want to call it, but I don't think that's the main goal there. So that's what I think.
Okay.
1 second.
This is our first Hangout experience. What do you think?
Well, I think that I'll tell you what.
Tell me your name first. Tell me your name.
My name is Jerry. I live in San Diego. Hi, Internet.
Hi.
Well, I'll tell you this. I've tried out different social platforms, and what I didn't like about Facebook was the whole thing that you had to opt out of things. You found out that, hey, somebody tagged you in a photo, or some random person jumped into your stream, or or the equivalent, and you had to drill down into your privacy settings to turn all that off. Whereas Google just puts that all up front and says, hey, if you want to do this, go ahead. So I think that's the biggest difference between Google and Facebook.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that's a larger point that's been made. I think it was why don't they just keep these features off and introduce them to you? I could see certain things, if you're introducing a new feature and you want to by default make it on so people can try it, and then make it real transparent and easy on how to turn it off. But when you're talking about a privacy issue, that's a whole different thing. By default, people feel threatened if and can you trust them in the future if by default they turn something like that on? Okay, I thought.
Yeah, and I think Google is really going about this the right way. Saying, and also with the exclusion of the business aspect of it, it's what they're really into. What they want to create is a place where people can connect. And I'll tell you what, man, I've never this is my first, well, probably like my third video chat. I don't know you guys, and but Google makes it really accessible to be able to connect with people on the internet, I think, in a personal way.
I agree, and I'll tell you, the reason we're so late is because this is my first video hangout, and we tried it right before a live program, which was seriously delayed, and we're not actually on the Blog Talk Radio Network right now. But anyway, okay, next up, games coming to Google Plus. One of the things that a lot of folks have said that they really enjoy about Google Plus is that there aren't games, that that I'm not asking you to water my plants, etc. But now I'm hearing that they're working on it, and that there might be a separate stream, just like for folks who know Google Plus, which is about only 2% of the Facebook population. But for folks who know, you can choose certain circles and designate. I want to, like, I have show prep people who, like Daniel, who I will look at before a show to see what they're talking about. And last night's guest, Christina Trapolino, I'll check them out before we do a show because I might talk about one of their posts. But if they just put that there, again, opt in. I can choose. If I don't opt in, if I don't click on that, I'll never see that Daniel Bowie wants me to water his damn plants that I'm not going to water. But so maybe it's not such a bad thing. This way they can have their proverbial cake and eat it too. What do you think, Daniel?
Well, my girlfriend's all excited about games coming to Facebook, but I mean, yeah, Google. I'm sorry, but I mean, if you look at it from a business view, why wouldn't Google enter the whole gaming market? I mean the whole online social gaming is blowing up. I mean, if you look at all those companies, their IPOs is ridiculous. Like it's just stupid, right? And it's gonna be good for all those startup gaming companies, because I believe Google will charge less than what Facebook is charging. So if you're a startup company and you haven't made any income yet, why not start on Google, right? I mean, if they're charging you, like, I think the number was something in the low 1-digit %, where I think Facebook is charging 25% of what they make. So
yeah, but you know what? You're too focused on the money making aspect of it and not the end user experience. I don't want a bunch of stuff coming into my stream saying how many eggs somebody from Farmville collected.
Oh,
it's
right. And that's one of the reasons why I stopped using Facebook. But I think if Google's gonna enter it, they're gonna do it in a way where it won't bombard your stream, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure they're gonna make it where you get to opt out of seeing how many eggs you want, or I don't know what goes on in Facebook, but I'm very sure they're gonna plan it out and do it the right way. I mean,
well, I'll tell you what I would like to see. I would like to be able to say, hey, you and me, let's play a game of chess. You know what I'm saying?
I want to see that happen too.
Yeah, that kind of personal inner relationship that I think Google is building right now.
Okay, but that's the thing. They'll do it differently because they know. See, it's all like Christina Trapolino last night was talking about how one of the advantages that Google Plus has is that everyone starts from scratch. Everyone starts with a whole new social network, having made all the mistakes that we made, and with the circle sake. So they've learned, and we as the end user have learned. Same thing with the games. What we're hearing now is they're just going to make it on your thing. It's going to say that you can you'll have it as one entry, just like all your circles. Like I'm in irritating media people in Daniel Bowie's circle. So if he clicks on irritating media people, then he sees what I've got to say. If he clicks on hot chicks, he sees whatever Alyssa Milano wants to say. And then he can click on games, and then he can read all that. But I don't think it's going to be a bunch of water my plants and conquer my army, and will you accept a sword in return for a rose, or all that crap that we hate that caused us to be so excited about Google Plus, in addition to other things. But like you said, it could be a thing like a chess game, or I can finish a Sudoku puzzle quicker than Daniel can. I mean, that sort of thing. Don't you think that they've learned and that they're not just going to throw away all the goodwill and pull a Netflix as far as the gaming platform?
Well, it'll tank if they do. I mean, if they start, if your stream becomes an influx of advertising, then that's the number one way to turn people off. But to your point, it's all about connecting to individuals. And I hope that, and that's what that Google seems to be wanting to do. So I hope they keep with that.
What I've been hearing actually is they're going to create a separate stream for gaming. So it's not going to be part of your mainstream. So if you want to see what's going on with the whole gaming scene, then you would just click on that circle stream, and then you'll get all the updates. But if I think by default you won't get to see that unless you choose it. So by default you'll only see your mainstream that you have right now, and you'll only see the all those how many eggs you won and whatnot if you click on that stream. And I think if Google does it that way, it's going to be way more successful than how Facebook does it. And it's a lot less spam is what it is.
Okay, let me ask the guy in the red shirt what he thinks, and let me let you know we're recording a TV program. So okay, he just left. All right, we're losing it. They're dropping like flies. Must have been something we said. Hopefully they'll come back. All right, I think it's the same guy who was on earlier, and I think he's having a technical glitch. Okay, so let's I think that all makes sense. And now I have again, I apologize. We had some serious technical stuff earlier. All right, Google nuke. What do you think about them nuking the corporate pages? I saw on NBC News, I think, that they said this may be our last post. Google Plus is nuking you have to be a person. So Brian Williams of NBC News can have his personal profile up, but you can't have an NBC News profile. And what Google is saying is that they're going to get rid of that because they want to have individual people. They're going to introduce, they're talking about in the next few months, some kind of corporate pages or entity pages, that sort of thing. But they have run the risk of upsetting some media organizations who are covering them. So, but it seems to be okay, I guess. What do you guys think? I mean, is this a thing?
Do you know what they plan on doing with the corporate profiles? Because I right now don't know what they have planned for it. I mean, as of right now, you have to be a person to have a profile, right? So what I'm thinking is they have some plan to maybe milk the whole corporate profile, right? I don't know how they're going to do it, but I personally, I think it's a good idea to have it come out. What the hell does that sound?
What's he doing?
Who's vacuuming? Who's vacuuming?
Not me, dude. No one on my end.
Okay.
That was weird.
I can't
It's the internet, folks.
That was really weird.
I think it might be my laptop. Because I'm under these lights. I apologize. I've got to get one of those things. I've never had my laptop heat up. It's a brand new Veo. I think it was my fan on my laptop. All right, so all right, we think whatever they want to do, they can do, and people will still love them because it's Google. Okay, Google and Mozilla. This thing about they got rid of the toolbar for Firefox, and that's interesting. Mozilla's always.
What's Firefox?
That's a question. Actually, ironically, fewer people use Google Plus than Firefox, and we're acting like everyone knows what it is.
Let me ask you this.
Noobs.
What browser do you use, Dan?
I use all three. I use 90%. I use Chrome. I use Chrome for everything, except when I go to QuickBooks, when I have to do payroll, I use Internet Explorer because the QuickBooks Online thing has an issue printing in Chrome. And then the only thing I do with Firefox is I like Fire FTP. When I FTP PDF files to the printing press to print a newspaper or something like that, anytime I have to FTP anything, I use Fire FTP because I just haven't figured out a Chrome client.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, the only reason to use like Internet Explorer is if you're going to a site that renders properly only in Internet Explorer.
I agree. Yeah, and the banks. Sorry, go ahead, Daniel.
I use Chrome. I used to use Firefox, and then I started seeing that Firefox was trying to keep up with Chrome, so they instead of rebuilt the browser, they added onto the browser, and by doing that, it became more of a memory hog, and it just hogged more memory and slowed down my system. So I switched over to Chrome. It was a lot faster, and then I saw that Chrome it's like an Android phone or like an iPhone on your browser. There's a web store. You can go in, you can download extensions, apps, and you can run things right on the browser. It's like you don't even need to have apps anymore. It's in your browser now. It's just like an iPhone or an Android. You download, you run it on the phone. Now you can download stuff and run it on the browser. And I mean, for them to cancel the support for the Google taskbar on Firefox, I think it was a move they planned from the get-go. I think they wanted to introduce the toolbar into Firefox, have everyone hooked on it, and eventually plan on taking it away and have everyone who still wants to use it switch over to the Chrome browser. I think it was a move planned from the get-go.
I would agree. I think it's a lot like when like Eric Schmidt was on the board of Apple, remember? And Eric Schmidt resigned or was asked to resign or separated, whatever you want to call it, because Apple got mad at Google. Isn't this kind of the same thing? It's just they're doing their Chrome is a contender, and so it's time.
What's that, Dan?
Isn't it sort of isn't this similar to when Apple asked Eric Schmidt or kicked him off their board? It's just time.
I don't think it's similar to that. I mean, I think it's a business decision. I think it's like Google Plus. They've integrated everything into Google Plus, so they made everything a lot more easier to access. You can now access Gmail a lot easier, calendar, documents, photos, readers a lot easier. And now people have a chance to actually try those services, those products, and then maybe like it. But by them taking away the toolbar for Firefox, people may switch over to Chrome. And when they switch over to Chrome, they're going to try it, and then they might like it and stick with it. So I think it's more of a business decision than anything else.
Okay, the analogy I was making is simply that it's at one point when Apple kicked Eric Schmidt off, it was because Apple felt that Google was now competing with them, and it's sort of the same thing. I think Chrome and Firefox, that they've both been helped by each other, I guess, and Google was a major source of revenue. When folks would do searches and they'd get ads, then Google would kick money back to them. But I guess they want people to use their own product now that Chrome is mature. Okay, LulzSec, the hacker group, won't release stolen News International emails because they say that it could impact the investigation into News International, a division of News Corporation. What do you guys think of that? That's kind of interesting, isn't it?
Say that again? I'm sorry.
The LulzSec says that they're not going to release the News International emails. What do you guys think about that? Are these guys are they turning over a new leaf, or this is kind of interesting, isn't it?
I haven't been following that at all, so any input I put into that is just going to be purely guessing, and I'm just going to be plucking things out of the air, so I can't really comment on that at all.
All right, no problem. All right, what do you think?
I think that, if you're going to look for a silver lining in what Anonymous is doing, is they're exposing the poor security practices that companies like Sony and other sites have in regards to keeping our personal data safe.
All right, cool. I agree. All right, now let's talk. There was a story in CNET. Oracle's former CEO is a big blogger, and apparently he had written something that was praising Android, Google's use of Java in Android, and now they're suing over patent rights. I'm wondering, I want to ask you guys, it seems to me every day I'm hearing about some big companies suing each other. Apple, Samsung, everybody's suing each other over patents. it seems to me that this is getting out of hand. I mean, the whole thing, the one click to purchase on Amazon, that was patented and a suit was filed. When really, if you invent the light bulb, okay, fine. But if you invent something like click to purchase, that seems like a natural progression that a million people would simultaneously, the next step, they would take the next step. But whoever files the paperwork first can collect money from everybody else forever. It seems like this whole patent thing is getting out of hand. What do you guys think? Am I crazy or what?
It's called being a patent troll, where you apply for a patent, you get it, and then you sit on it and don't do anything with it, and wait for someone else to do something with it, and then sue them. It's all about making money.
That's why I'm sitting on DanielBowie.com.
Anyways, I mean, I want to make money. I'm pretty sure you guys want to make money too. I can't blame them for doing it. I can't blame them for suing them, but it's getting in the way of innovation. I mean now companies are scared to try new things, to be inventive, because they're scared of being sued, and they don't want to pay royalties. It's just getting in the way of innovation and slowing down progression. And I wish they were less greedy and just work together and just
But all right, let's take the flip side of that. What about being paid for innovation? If you invent a new product and you put it out there, shouldn't you be paid?
And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying people should just work together and just play nice. Don't be greedy. If you invented something, okay, I'll use it. I'll pay you for it. But don't charge me an arm and a leg to use it. You know what I mean? Just all play nice and move on and make everything better in the future. It's slowing down progression.
Okay, let me hang on, guys.
Lawyers.
Okay, let me draw an analogy to this, because here's an analogy. If I invented a way for anyone to plug a microphone in their electrical outlet and join this program, that would be a unique thing that would be patentable. If, however, I think I'm the first person to use Blog Talk Radio as a way to get audio callers in and have a number of people call with Wirecast to go on Ustream. Now, I'm no inventor. That just is a logical progression on this. So I shouldn't be able to patent that, because that's just the next logical step. That's what I'm saying. If I invent a way for you to plug your toothbrush into the electrical socket and hold on to a balloon outside your window and you can join the conversation, that's a unique invention. But just a natural progression like the one-click Amazon, it just seems that it's gotten out of hand.
Right, but you're not patenting the technology, you're patenting the content, and what you're putting out there, certainly that's within the realm of copyright. I mean, what the show that we're doing right now is under your copyright, but what's under the technology that underpins it is doesn't belong to you, but Google and all these internet companies are magnanimously giving you the rights to broadcast. And I like this format, by the way. Thank you, Daniel.
Hey, this is great. This is the first time doing it. Let me ask, what's your name again, the gentleman?
My name's Jerry.
Jerry, okay, cool. Jerry, do me a favor. While I start the intro of the next topic, will you reframe your shot a little bit, because the lower thirds are covering your mouth and nose. I'm just trying to get you above. There you go. That's great. Okay, next, recession-friendly McDonald's still ruling the fast food world. In the United States, McDonald's is known for their dollar menu, and people are hurting despite, Wall Street's doing okay, all that. But I'm curious. I know what's the deal with McDonald's in Vancouver? I don't know if Daniel can hear me. I guess we'll ask Jerry. But it seems to me that that's the place you go when you want a cheap hamburger. It's been that way forever. What do you guys think? We don't have your audio now, Jerry.
Sorry. So we're talking about cheap, non-nutritious food that you can get for $2.
Well, I mean, you could order a salad, But I mean, I don't go to McDonald's and order a salad, right?
Who eats salad?
I like salad. Anyway, I guess McDonald's good, and Daniel's gone, so he can't tell us about Vancouver. All right, let me ask you this.
No, stop.
Okay.
You're talking about McDonald's, and you know, I like the fact that they do offer salads nowadays. It's really awesome, and that seems to be the way fast food restaurants are currently going with the nutritional and healthy options, and I'm all for it. I mean, you know, hey, I could stand to lose a few pounds. There's no question about that. So, you know, who would possibly be against that?
Yeah, I think McDonald's, with the salads, I think what it does is if most people don't go to McDonald's to get a salad, I mean, straight up. But what it does is if your kids are clamoring for it, and they get their Happy Meals, and you're on a diet or whatever, then you have the option of a salad if you're going to go to McDonald's anyway. So I think that's great.
Yeah, well, you know, you bring up a good point. When your kids are clamoring for the Happy Meal and the fries and the shakes, you know, what do? You know, do you just give them what they want and just to quiet them, or do you know, be a parent and say, no, you know, we can do this maybe once or twice a month, but not every day. You know, some parents don't have that that kind of, you know, mind to be able to say that, to say yes and no to their kids. They want to be their friend, in other words, and be a parent.
All right, now we've gone from the vacuum to the train. So let me ask Jerry this. It says YouTube is going to stream some music festivals, Lollapalooza, and the one in Texas, Austin City Limits. And I'm wondering what this is just one thing, and YouTube hasn't gone full-fledged into streaming yet. I mean, they're not like Ustream or Justin TV, or we would be on YouTube, frankly. And it would probably all be integrated in here. But what do you see in the future? What do you think? This is a threat as this grows. Ustream, Justin TV, if YouTube gets, because they're the biggest player in video, but shows like this that are not on a major broadcast network, that's just on YouTube and it's streamed live on whichever service is working that night. What do you guys think? Does this? What's the future? How much of a threat is this sort of thing to ABC, CBS?
I think it has to do with the technology, HTML5. You know, so you don't have to download a codec to be able to watch these videos. HTML is the next big thing.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's. Daniel wants to switch topics here. Windows. Microsoft put their numbers out. Windows is kind of down, and but Microsoft Office is still selling well. I use OpenOffice. We don't buy Office on anything. My laptop came with the 30-day whatever, and I deleted it. I hate that what do they call it? Crapware or whatever, bloatware. This stuff that they put on these brand new computers. But what do you guys? How come people aren't using OpenOffice more? Why are people? I could understand companies that have years and they want to train people on something new. That's a different story. If you have 400 employees, blah blah blah. But for Joe Sixpack, why aren't people using OpenOffice when it's free and it's awesome?
I'm assuming, Jerry, you use OpenOffice as well?
I have used it, but go ahead.
And okay, Dan uses OpenOffice. There's another Office suite out there that's also open source. It's called LibreOffice, and that's great too. I think people don't use it because they don't know about it. I mean, when you buy a new computer, a new laptop, it comes with Windows, I guess 7 now. Windows 7 comes with a trial version of MS Office, right? It should be good to point out too that Microsoft makes most of their money on licensing and not actually selling the product, right? So
corporate.
Yeah, so all the money that they make, or most of the money they make, is from companies. When a company has, let's say, like 20 computers, right? It's the annual license that they have to pay. That's where all their income comes from.
Exactly.
And OpenOffice and LibreOffice, all those open source Office suites is good for us the personal consumer, we like using it. It's good for us. But Microsoft Office is good for businesses, and with the boom of startup companies nowadays, I can see why the revenue from Microsoft Office is climbing. I mean, I don't see large companies using open source Office suites because it's.
You know why? You know why, Daniel?
There.
You know why? Because there's nobody. Vacuum.
Guys, I apologize. We'll just have to talk over that because it's my laptop and I'll have to get a thing. It's 100 degrees outside and we're under the TV lights and this has never done this before, so I apologize.
Totally forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, I remember. It's because, when you buy the Microsoft product, you have somebody to blame when things go wrong. You can't do that with an open source product.
Exactly. It's the support. It's the support. Exactly. I mean, when something goes wrong, you can call in to Microsoft Office, Microsoft, and get support. With open source products, it's up to you to fix it, and it's up to you to fix all those hundreds of computers that one business relies on. So it's a lot easier for companies and businesses to use MS Office. Open source Office is great for us, me, you, the average consumer. It's perfect. We don't need.
Well, hey, tell you what. Since we're on the topic of different things to use, what about Google Docs? What do you think about that?
I love that. I just sent Dan a link to a Google Doc document that I prepared for him, but didn't get the link. But I use it every day. I use it to take notes, to write stuff while I'm on the road, and I'll come home and work on it again. I use it every day. I use it to send out email attachments so everyone gets the same. I know everyone gets the same version of what I'm sending out. I use it every day. I love it.
But guys, it's not ready for prime time the way that Open Office or Microsoft Office is. I mean, it's good for certain tasks, but it's not the full-fledged suite. It's not a solution for a company like IBM or like Salesforce for their employees to figure out some way. And also, the other advantage of Office is, one, everyone knows how to use it. Two, they probably get it cheap when they buy their new computers, which they constantly do. And then three, they can get a support plan for it. If something goes wrong, they can. If money's no object, you can get a support plan for Microsoft Office, whereas you probably can't for Open Office.
Yes, that's what we just said.
Okay.
Pretty much. You just summed it up.
All right. Obviously, technical issues aren't the only problem I'm having tonight. Okay, Ridley Scott did his first movie in 3D. He says he'll never go back. He'll never do another non-3D movie. What do you guys think? I mean, I saw Avatar. It was awesome, but I wouldn't buy a 3D TV. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is this?
They've got to come up with a standard on the technology. Nobody's going to buy $50 or $30 glasses. They need to come up with a standard that everybody can agree upon.
Well, they've been working on a 3D technology where you don't need glasses. I mean, look at the Nintendo 3DS, right? The only problem is you can only look at it at a certain angle. But then they're also using that technology in cars now where.
Right, but we're talking TVs. We're talking 50-inch screens that we've got to look at. Watching TV like you and I watch TV. We look at it, and if they could do that without glasses, yeah, that would be great. But I don't think the technology is fully baked yet.
Well, they actually have a TV right now where you don't need glasses, right? It projects.
And it stinks.
I'm saying it's out there, okay?
All right, Daniel Bowie's the last holdout. All right, last story, because I'm dying. It's like 100 degrees in here, and this show's been a technical disaster, although Daniel and Jerry are fantastic. All right, last story. Hugo Chavez ruling his minions via Twitter from the Associated Press. He is undergoing cancer treatment in Cuba, and he has sent out 40 messages this week on his account. He has approved money for a Caracas trash collection project, praised plans for a new park, and cheered on the national soccer team. One point, he was sitting next to Fidel Castro while the national soccer team was, well, he tweeted, I'll let him speak for himself. He said, in my modest opinion, they robbed us of the victory goal, and I hope that with this I'm not offending anybody. And then what do you guys think? I mean, I remember when the iPad first came out and they showed some prime minister stuck at an airport and he had an iPad and they said he was ruling the country with an iPad. Is this just a funny story, or is this are leaders going to start ruling countries with Twitter?
Twitter. I don't know about Twitter. Twitter's a technology, right? But as far as Hugo Chavez goes, I hope he dies of cancer. I'll say that here. I don't care who hears this. He's somebody who is restricting the rights of his people to speak out freely, which is something that I hope the United States continues to be that light on the hill, be the light of democracy, and say, hey, this is how we do things, this is how we roll, and if you don't like it, then hey, we might invade and shoot you if you don't like it.
This is how we roll, Hugo Chavez. What do you think, Daniel? Yeah, whatever. You don't care.
I don't know. No comment.
Hey guys, thank you so much. Hangout. Last word from Jerry.
Agree.
Huh?
I said no comment means that Daniel agrees.
No, it means he's thinking about his girlfriend and dinner or something. He could care less about Hugo Chavez and or Twitter. All right, guys, I'll join you in the chat room sec. Hey, thanks so much for watching this technically challenged episode. We didn't have Blog Talk Radio. We didn't have Ustream. We're on Justin.tv for the first time. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm sweating under these lights because it's 100 degrees outside. My laptop's going crazy. But anyway, to our viewers and listeners, etc., thank you for checking us out. We're here Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. This is the McDermott Report. I'm Dan McDermott checking out. C'est la vie.